There were gods so terrifying that even Zeus feared to speak their names. They ruled the very edges of the cosmos, commanding forces far older than Olympus itself. And then they vanished, erased from myth, forgotten by history. But what if they never really left? What if the gods we remember were only the survivors of a cosmic purge? Welcome to Pantheon, where the myths you know hide the truths you were never meant to hear. Today, we are resurrecting the forgotten gods. These are the ones deliberately purged from the stories, buried beneath centuries of fear and silence. From shadowy figures like Nyx, the primordial goddess of the night, to Moros, the embodiment of fate and death, all the way to deities whose names were never even spoken aloud. We're going to uncover exactly why they were erased and what their disappearance reveals about us. Before Zeus ruled Olympus, before even the Titans fell in their epic war, there was Nyx the night itself. Now, let's be clear, she wasn't just a goddess of the night. She was the night. Born from chaos, she existed before the earth, before the sky, before pretty much everything we recognize. In Homer's own words, even the mighty Zeus feared to anger her. Just imagine that for a moment, the king of the gods, the master of lightning and thunder, terrified of a single entity who didn't need to display power to be powerful. Nyx's very presence could extinguish the light of existence. And maybe that's precisely why she was forgotten. Because nothing threatens order more than a darkness that refuses to obey. In the myths, she doesn't shout, she doesn't fight grand battles. She simply is asterisk. And perhaps that's what made her so dangerous. The Greeks could worship Zeus's thunderbolts, but you can't control the night. It comes whether you want it to or not. So, they tried to erase her. They turned her from a fundamental force into a whisper, a shadow, a cautionary tale told to children. But every night, when the world falls silent and the stars emerge, Nyx returns. And maybe that's her ultimate revenge, being remembered in the quiet dark. Long after the thunder has faded, now, let's meet Moros, the god of doom. And no, that's not doom as in war or punishment. Moros represented inevitability itself. He didn't decide how or when you would die, he simply knew. From the moment you were born, Moros saw the image of your final breath. This wasn't a prophecy that could be changed. It was a certainty. And the Greeks, for all their love of drama, absolutely hated him for it. Not because he was cruel, but because he was right. And that is why they buried his story. In a world obsessed with heroes, glory, and defying fate, Moros was the uncomfortable, unshakable reminder that no one, not even the greatest champion, escapes the end. In today's world, Moros would be the algorithm, the quiet, invisible force tracking your every choice, predicting your next click, your next purchase, your next move and your next downfall. It's not evil, just inevitable. A calculated outcome, and maybe that's why his name still echoes in our language, even if we no longer remember who we're quoting. We talk about morbidity, about the morbid fascination with the end, without realizing we're speaking the name of a forgotten god. Long before Zeus and the Olympians established their glittering court, the first beings crawled out of the primordial chaos. They weren't gods of love, or justice, or wisdom. They were gods of things humans instinctively don't want to remember. There was Erebus, the embodiment of darkness. Hemra, a daylight that burns instead of warms. Hypnos, the personification of sleep, who was also the twin brother of death. And Nemesis, the inescapable spirit of retribution. The cosmic balance that ensures arrogance will always lead to a fall. These beings weren't worshipped in grand temples. They were endured, They were fundamental realities, reminders that the universe did not revolve around human comfort or desire. They taught a stark lesson, that creation itself is a delicate balance between awe-inspiring beauty and absolute terror. The Olympians didn't erase them out of hate. They did it to make humanity feel safe, to create a world that felt manageable and predictable, because no one builds a temple to the void. No one kneels to chaos. But just because you ignore it, doesn't mean it isn't there. Chaos is still watching. So, why do these forgotten gods still matter? Because every civilization sanitizes its myths. The ancient Greeks did it, the Romans did it, and we do it now. We turn primal terror into blockbuster entertainment and genuine worship into quaint nostalgia. We prefer our gods to be relatable, flawed, and ultimately conquerable. But the forgotten gods were never meant to be villains. They were truth-tellers. They were the universe's way of reminding humanity that light means nothing without the shadow, that order is fragile, and that existence is a dance on the edge of a knife. And maybe that's the real reason they still matter, because in our brightly lit 24/7 world, we've forgotten how to respect the darkness that created us. We've forgotten that some forces are beyond our control. The gods didn't disappear. We just stopped listening. We put our fingers in our ears and chose a more comfortable story. So when night falls tonight, take a moment. Look into the dark, into the profound silence, and remember some gods don't need temples. They don't need prayers or sacrifices. They only need the silence to be heard. If you want to uncover more myths that history tried to erase, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Pantheon, because next time we're revealing the ancient prophecies that actually came true. And the world was never the same again. Thank you for watching.